let's come back to the big dream that I had, you had. Raghuram Rajan talked about it back in 2009 and 10 when we were discussing this with you, which is movement from the cash economy to cashless or maybe less cash economy. First, demonetization. Do you think that helped the cause of less cash economy?
Oh, I think demonetization definitely accelerated the less cash movement in India. Not because people moved to cashless, that doesn't happen so fast. But those 60 to 90 days between November 8th to February 8th, I think the government was relentlessly focused on how to make digital transaction happen. So a large number of changes and technology, regulations, apps were all built in those 90 days. And that essentially removed the sort of any friction to cashless adoption. So if you take UPI, UPI in the month of October 2016 was doing just 100,000 transactions a month. And then demonetization happened and the BHIM app was built and all kinds of things happened. And the focus was brought. And today UPI does 250 million transactions a month. So it's been and that is directly linked to the fact that demonetization brought attention to this mode of cashless payment. Yeah.
But this is my worry, Nandan. I use BHIM app all the time. I use Paytm. But my maids are not using them.
Well, it's.
I mean, that's where the need wasn't for me. I could use credit cards. I wasn't the one who wasn't financially included. My maids were, and they have gone back to cash.
Yeah, so I think that's what I'm saying. I think what we have done is eliminated the regulatory and technological barriers to cashless. But behavior change is a far bigger thing, Right. They need to have a phone. Now, of course, UPI is supported both on feature phones and smartphones. So 600 million people who have either a feature phone or a smartphone can use that payment. More merchants must take QR code based payments. There's a lot of, technology diffusion is not the same as having it ready. Right? It takes years. Electricity took decades to get really used. So I think we have to, now we are in the phase of adoption. But in the next 5-10 years, you will see a significant increase in cashless payments.
What about the reason, the demonetization didn't come because they wanted to go to cashless. It was about getting the black money out. What is your estimate? Were we successful?
Well, no, there's no question that India is financialization and formalization is now well underway. Aadhaar brought everybody with an ID. 300 million new bank accounts got opened after this Jan Dhan program and so on. Now all government benefits are given into bank accounts using direct benefit transfer. So money is flowing into these accounts. Now more and more money which is sent from urban to rural is being sent through the banking system.
But the black money, did we get?
No, but what happens is once transactions come into the financial system, once they're in bank accounts, once their payments are digital, then they are in the formal world, right? And that automatically means that they will come into taxes and so on. And I think the important thing is that
that's the little guy, Nandan. The little guy is coming.
No. Different sectors, right? I mean, for example, if the rules are that you can't do large payments in cash, you have to use a check. So that means more and more payments are digital, and basically there's also a shift happening where people's assets historically in India have been kept in the form of real estate and gold, both of which actually could be kept outside the system. But more and more, these assets are becoming financial assets. They're becoming stocks, bonds, deposits. So I think that again, there's a dual force, financialization and formalization. Even GST, as I said, 40% more companies have joined the GST. They were there, but they're not part of the system. Now they're file returns. So I think we are in that process of that happening. And automatically, once you formalize and financialize, then effectively it will be more and more difficult to keep money outside the system.